gorgeous day today, nearly 60 degrees. Great for fishing. Unfortunately, the ice is just disintegrating, so probably about done ice fishing for the year. So before I pack up for the year, I just want to talk about a product that has really improved our panfish fishing, and that is a quality noodle rod. So last year started off with the 13 Fishing Tickle Stick. This is the ultralight version, and then this year just upgraded to a tuned up custom Bullwhip, and this rod is fantastic. So if you haven't seen them, the Tickle Stick retails for $50. The tuned up custom Bullwhip starts at $110. You can get more expensive ones. You can customize them. And if you only want to spend $50 on a rod, the Tickle Stick is a great rod to start off with. If you have more money, I definitely recommend the tuned up custom. It's much higher quality. All right, so what these rods do is they have a very sensitive fluorescent tip. Both these rods have that, as you can see here. And what happens is when a panfish bites, that tip is so sensitive that if you have generally a bluegill will bite down like that, you'll see the rod bend. And then what also happens is you have crappies will upbite it. So the rod is slightly bent, and then you have an upbite, the rod straightens out. Like so. This tuned up custom is a little bit heavier. It's equivalent to a light action, but still the same thing. So you can see tips real sensitive, even to an upbite. All right, so what I like about a noodle rod as opposed to a spring bobber rod is you can jig. So a spring bobber rod, the tip is actually so sensitive that you can't really jig. You have to let it sit still. Both these rods, you can actually jig it and still detect a bite. And I'll show you a video here of getting bites on both of these. And as you can see, both of them, you see the rod tip bend, and then I set the hook. Very, very helpful to detect bites. It really ups your game from using a spring bobber because you can be jigging at the same time and then see your tip go and set the hook. All right, so just want to take a second and talk about why I like the Bullwhip better. Again, it's nearly twice as much, but one thing that I don't like about the Tickle Stick is it's a little bit more of a moderate action here. You see, bends deeply into the rod, and that makes it really hard if you're fishing for panfish, you happen to catch a bass. The Bullwhip, which is also again a heavier rod, is a little bit faster action, just that tip bends, so it's much easier to handle larger panfish or bass with this. Lots more quality components on this. You have the guides snap back, so you can't really break it. A lot of people complain that the Tickle Stick, as you can see here, it's actually bent. These tips are very fragile and break really easily. Of course, all rod tips break easily, but the tuned up custom is a little bit sturdier. And one thing I really like about the tuned up custom is I actually feel for the bite, so I put my finger along the rod like that, and I can actually feel when the fish bites. I can't really do that with the Tickle Stick. All right, so if you like pan fishing on ice and you haven't got one of these or a similar product, I definitely recommend it. If you only want to spend about $50, Tickle Stick is great. If you're willing to spend more for a higher quality rod, definitely get tuned up custom. Again, this is the Bullwhip, which is a little bit heavier. I like it for these 1/32 ounce jigs. If you're fishing much lighter jigs, little lead jigs or anything like that, you might want to go down to the Precision Noodle. But this is a great rod for panfish. I even caught a teeny little perch on it today, and it detected that bite just fine, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. All right, well, see you possibly on the ice one more time, but probably on open water. So if you like these kind of videos, please like this video and subscribe for more content like this.